Y'all, geese on, bags packed, the sun's out, and it's perfect rolling weather. Nothing like walking out that front door knowing I'm about to get a few good rounds in. I've been thinking about guard passes since last night. I can't wait to see what Professor has for us today. I'm feeling strong.
I'm excited. You know, I'm not excited to experience the pain and the exhaustion, but I'm excited to learn and I'm excited to make progress. I understand that I'm not going to become a world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist in a week, and to be honest, that's not even my goal. But I do understand that if I begin something and stick to it, as time goes on, I'm going to progress, I'm going to grow, I'm going to get better, I'm going to improve, and I'll be able to take one step closer towards my goal. What is my goal? Number one, losing weight. That's my primary goal. I want to lose weight, doing something that's fun. You know, previously I was doing powerlifting, so just lifting heavy weights for a low amount of reps. But I've gotten bored of that. You know, I still have an interest in it. You know, I may get back into it maybe a little later on, or when my son Zion's older, if he's into it. That'll motivate me. But for now, I just want to do something different, something fun, and yeah. Also, it's never a bad thing to learn how to, you know, fight and defend yourself without getting exhausted. So that's a secondary goal. So I'm about 2 minutes away from the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym. And what's interesting, when I initially got into it, when I started my first training session about 2 weeks ago, that gym's about 30 minutes away because I came across an advertisement on Instagram. And I didn't think to look to see if there was a gym closer. So I went to that gym 30 minutes away. Was not too much of a fan of the travel. And, you know, last week I was like, wait a minute. I never checked to see if there was a gym closer. So I went on Apple Map. And lo and behold, there's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym 4 minutes away from my house in New Jersey. So this is actually going to be my first time going there in person. Yeah, and I'm excited about that. I am excited about that. So yeah, that's about it. That's how I feel going into this session. Very optimistic. I know it's going to suck. I know it's not going to feel good. I know I'm going to be thinking to myself at some point, maybe 20 minutes in, why in the world did I decide to put myself through this? But I do know that if I stick with it in a couple months, I'll be able to get through a session without being gassed out, and I'm looking forward to that. All right, so that's it for the update. This is the before video, and right after my gym session, I'm going to go ahead and record the after video. And look at that, I am already here.
Oh man, they did not mention I'd have to crawl out of here. Just a few more feet, almost there. Come on, open up, seat. Never felt so good. My legs are jelly. First class down.
Oh boy, I'm back. Session 2, as I shared before in the last video. This is a full-on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym, and the moment we began, I had to run laps. I had to, you know, we were jogging around the gym, then we had to kind of skip to the side around the gym, then we had to switch sides, and then we had to interchange for a couple laps. Then we did a jog and sit-ups, jumping jacks, squats, stretches. Great warm-up. The warm-up felt like a full workout. I was ready to quit after that, but I remember what I said in the previous video, that I know it's gonna suck. And then, you know, we drilled a couple moves and techniques. I was grappling with a blue belt that's about to transition to purple. And yeah, everything was going good. I think my instructor was just that good. So he kind of made it seem easy. He was guiding me through, you know, the different moves. But the worst part was during the last 3 minutes. I was so out of it, I didn't even know what was going on. There was this purple belt, large, husky guy, and apparently during the last 3 minutes there, you have to like kind of like compete with your partner. To whoever is going to be at the bottom, they have to, you know, not get submitted, I guess, or whatever. And yeah, you know, the husky guy, he was at the bottom, I was on the top, and I was trying to just stop him from doing whatever he was trying to do. And I had a coach beside me. He was, you know, kind of telling me what to do. He was like, come on, use your strength. And then the husky guy at the bottom, he was like, come on, be a man. So I just got to my ego, and I used all my strength, and I completely gassed out. I thought that was it, but no. The instructor, he said switch, and now I'm laying down, and this big husky guy comes on top of me. And the moment that happened, I wanted to tap instantly. The match didn't even start. I instantly wanted to tap, but I said, you know, I'm gonna look like a punk. And I told this guy, I said, listen, I got kids to go back home to. And I was like, oh, we all do. Final last words. When I say literally, there's nothing I could have done. I was so gassed out. I started to feel claustrophobic. I felt like the gi that I was wearing was just too tight and hot. And I literally he barely got to do anything. I just tapped. I felt like a punk. He was laughing. And then I thought we were gonna switch. No, we didn't switch. He just gave me some time to breathe, and then we went back at it, and he went on top again. And I just tapped again. Like, dude, I'm exhausted. So that was literally the only time. That was the only time since I started jiu-jitsu where I was like, yeah, I don't think I could see myself sticking with this. That was intense. And I'm glad it was just at least like the last 3 minutes. So, you know, I know that as time goes on, my stamina is going to improve, because that's really what it was. I was just exhausted at the end. And because of that guy's size, it's like a massive dude. And I guess I'm a big dude too. But yeah, that was definitely a big challenge. And he was a purple belt, so he made everything look easy. And they allowed me to do a submission. So I learned 2 submission moves, the Kimura and the Americana. And they put me in the submission move as well. But thank God for big muscles. It was hard for them to really lock it in. But when they did, I felt the pressure. But I didn't want to break anything. So I don't even think I tapped. They just kind of like stopped. But it didn't hurt me that much, but at the same time, I knew they weren't going all out. I know that if they did go all out, my bones would have broke. But they, you know, went to whatever their limit was. And, you know, we just transitioned to something else. So yeah, will I be going to session number 3 on Wednesday? I guess you have to wait until Wednesday to see.
Welcome to Asuni's desk, BJJ edition.